Ciso. Oh, it's fabulous! A strike to get you up off your seats.
Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social. This is the Fulham at home match reaction, and I am joined by a full squad today. We've got the full team in the house. First time ever.
Barely.
No, first time in a long time. Yeah, yeah. What? 2.5. Well, actually, no. Technically, I'm half as well, so 2. We've got 1.5 members.
It's a solo pod.
It's a 1.5 members today, yeah. Ben, we'll start with you, mate, because you, first of all, are slightly hungover, and second of all,
Slightly.
It's been a while since you were on the pod, so how are you? How's things been?
I'm ill, and then I worked yesterday, and then stupidly went out, despite being ill, and now feel even worse today, and really hungover. I watched the Brighton game and match today at 4 a.m. That was my revision for today's podcast, so I'm here for vibes today. I do apologise to Brighton fans out there that this is poor from me. I know, but I will do better.
Good. That is good to know. You will endeavour to be better, Ben. That's always a good thing to know. And Jack, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Good.
Oh my! If people haven't switched off after the intro.
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. Had a good day out on the beers yesterday, watching the tricky Seagulls win their sixth game in a row, which is ridiculous when you think about it. 6 games in a row we've now won. Maybe we can't stop winning. Who knows?
Who knows?
Probably will come tumbling down next week. But anyway, yeah, it's it's great. Really good day out, which the whole family can enjoy.
No, 100%. And also, I'm going to tell you about my weekend, even though no one asked how my weekend was.
How was your weekend, Maz?
How was your weekend, Maz?
Oh, thanks,
Sorry, mate.
guys. Thanks.
Is there a parrot?
I had a great weekend. I watched Harlem Eubank at the Brighton Centre on Friday night. Absolutely dismantled Tyrone McKenna. So that was great. Well done, Harlem. Big shout out to you. I know he was at the stadium as well on the Saturday. So that was great. Then went out to...
Yeah, he got he showed off his belts, didn't he? Around the stadium, which was quite cool.
Little two belt situation. So that was good. Yeah, went out Friday night as well in Hove, Church Road. Big up yourself. Big up Istanbul Grill. Big up yourselves.
Yeah,
£13.
Big up Istanbul Grill.
£13.90 for a doner and chips is outrageous behaviour.
That's a lot of money.
That is outrageous. I was in disbelief. I went to the boss man. I went, listen, £13.90. He went, yeah, it's made out of gold. I was like, yeah, bloody hope it is. If it doesn't taste like crystal and gold, I'm going to be absolutely fuming. But anyway,
do you know, it's interesting, just on a slight tangent, how many different Istanbul grills there are. I think that's the most common kebab shop name. What was the original Istanbul grill? Probably in Istanbul, actually. So anyway, as you were.
Thanks, Jack, for that fantastic input.
Okay.
And then come Saturday, of course, I was at the Brighton game watching the tricky Seagulls, like Jack said, absolutely break the Fulham curse. So listen, it's been a fantastic weekend, and let's get into the football, shall we? Because
hold on, before we do, obviously we had a request to do the date review, remember? Because you guys outed me on.
Yeah.
So that was great.
No,
appreciate
that,
that. Thank you.
Yeah, Ben.
So she actually said she was going to listen to this podcast. So she's going to be listening to this and thinking,
oh, so it went well then.
What on earth is this podcast? Like, this is absolute dog shit. So yeah, it went well. Basically, we're madly in love. It's gonna. Yeah. Date 2 is on the cards. We agreed that one. So,
nice.
This is where we reveal something about Ben, which means that he can't go on a second date. Like, he's got 6 previous criminal convictions for various crimes. He hasn't.
I don't know what's happening anymore. But Ben, quickly, before we go on to the football, where'd you take her?
Bad joke in my head then. We went to the Nest in Soho, which was like rooftop cocktail bar. Really nice.
Ooh,
really
fancy.
good vibes. I feel like I've set the bar way too high. And I think the next day I'm going to suggest the Fato Mano free pizza deal because I spent too much money.
Right.
Yeah, Ben messaged me going, Maz, can I have a loan, please? No. It was
if anyone doesn't know about the Fato Mano pizza deal, by the way, if you bring a pineapple to Fato Mano, they give you a free pineapple and hot honey salami pizza or chorizo pizza for free.
I don't know.
Won't be doing that.
We tried doing it on the London Road Fatto Mano, and every single grocery or everywhere was just pineapples are all sold out. It was crazy, and they've just got like piles of pineapples in Fatto Manos. Yeah, everyone's just walking into Fattos with pineapples.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, me, I don't like pineapple pizza, so I think that's a.
I've never had it.
No, I agree, but you can just grow up and just take the pineapples off it. So.
Yeah, and it's free.
Right.
Should we talk about football then?
Yeah, let's talk about football. 5 minutes and 45 seconds into the podcast, and we are finally talking about Brighton Hove Albion.
Like an hour.
Right. What a day. Unbelievable. Do you know what? Just quickly as well, before we do really get into the football. There's a guy, Ben Smith, if you're listening to this, which probably you're not, he's a Fulham fan, and I was with him the night before, and he was giving it all this, Fulham this, Fulham that, Fulham this. Yeah, mate, how about now, mate? 2-1, how's that?
The curse is broken, people.
Yeah, the curse is broken. Yeah, it was a long time coming. Me and Jack, we did do the preview and we did explain that, we'd never won in the Premier League, and that's such a weight off our shoulders, I feel like. Just to have that duck broken is huge. But yeah, Jack, kick us off, mate. How do you feel about the game itself?
Yeah, no, what a win, man. Like, it's taken a long time. We were always, the time we finally beat Fulham was always going to be some, and not to say that we didn't play well in the game, but it was always going to be some absolute nonsense, which won us the game. And yeah, getting a last minute, the last minute penalty with 3 seconds on the clock remaining, which is insanity, really, when you think about it. And yeah, I think we controlled the game at time. I thought we had a better team across the whole game. I don't think there was any sort of like doubt in my mind that we weren't the better team. Played really well. I think Fulham, we played a lot of the top teams recently, so we sort of played like Bournemouth and Newcastle, a lot of teams around us, and Fulham, to quote Shania Twain, didn't impress me that much. So, and I just didn't think they were as dynamic as I thought they'd be. They're very, very defensively, structurally sound and very solid. I think they've got a lot of experience outside, and a player who I have decreed when he was at another club as being quite rubbish. Is actually by far and away their best player, which was Alex Iwobi. So I think he's really, really good for them. So I think a lot of their experience, and I think what was a shame at the end, I think they did revert into type a bit and sort of sit back and kind of soak up pressure rather than going for the win, which is what we've seen teams like Newcastle or Bournemouth do recently to us, where they've been really trying to get that win in the final minutes, and it's been end to end. So I think that probably is a bit of a negative from their point of view, that I think if they were a bit more expansive and open, they probably could have pushed on for a winner.
Yeah, Hersler said, didn't he? Hersler said in his post-match, he was about how the team that actually played to win won the game. So shots fired.
Yeah, he had a little thing, didn't he?
Marco Silva.
Yeah, I saw that. That was good.
He loves it. He loves it. Our Hersler, like, I know I've said it before. Like, he's just such a shithouse on the touchline. He just loves misbehaving, doesn't he? I love that.
I like it. I think it's a great trait to have. Also, as well, I just wanted to say, just quickly before I get your opinion, Ben, it felt like. Do you know what it felt like? I don't know about you, Jack, but. Because obviously, I'm not saying you didn't watch the game, Ben, but obviously Jack being there for the full 90.
Yeah, ask me an easy question, please. What colour were Fulham wearing?
No, do you know what it felt like for me at times? It was two teams that had played 120 minutes of football. Like, at times, it was quite late. You could really see that. It was like, two quite, at times, tired teams. But then at times, we did have that little bit of impetus, a bit of, drive. But then there was times where it's like, right, we're watching two teams who played a lot of football recently. And it's sort of like, tired legs against each other. And I thought that's sort of like the theme of the game. But then obviously, it was fantastic to get that. But Ben, just in terms of, not the game itself, but how, to get 6 wins on the bounce, how much does that mean to the team? And I know, it was funny actually, we listened to TalkSport on the way back. And not that I like, Jason Cundy sometimes is a bit, controversial, whatever. But he was like saying, that Herzler came out and was like, our fitness is really good. It's like one of our best traits to have fitness. He was like, but that should be standard. That should be normal. How can you say fitness is the thing? And I was like, well, it is. Like,
it gets you over the line in the 98th minute.
Exactly. But yeah, with those kind of like comments and things, to have 6 wins in a row, how important is that for the rest of the season? Because I know Jack said we're going to win every game. But yeah, how realistic is that? And then how do we see, this big win for the rest of the season basically catapulting us?
I mean, it'd be unbelievable to get 7 in a row against City, because imagine going from losing 7-0 to then winning 7 games in a row. I think surely that's unprecedented. Yeah. That's got to be unprecedented. I think Naylor said it's the first time that team have, since 1931 Grimsby, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, the first time a team...
Sorry, I thought I was saying the stat, Jack.
Yeah, I know. It was...
We get it. You know football, mate.
It's such a niche stat. It's such a stat which I don't even know why anybody would look this stat up. But it's the first time a team has conceded 7 and won 4 Premier League games in a row directly afterwards since 1931.
I wish someone was going to say that.
I just don't get why that stat exists. Why has someone gone out and checked all the 7-0 losses? Don't know.
It's true. I do have a bit of an in the know. If I'm not meant to say this, then we're fucked. But I'll say it anyway. So my brother's godfather, so my dad's best mate, he was. I'm not actually going to dox where they were, but he ended up on a holiday with Paul Barber, and then they were talking about what happened after the 7-0 and that sort of thing. And he said something really, really interesting. They had a team meeting the day after the 7-0, and what they'd done using the Star Lizard, our database, which only us and Brentford have stuff that's similar. Paul Barber and the team and all the analysts were like, right, this is what happened in the game. This is a complete freak result. All of these things that happened, all these different stats and the moments within the game are just completely freak. This 7-0 should not have happened. This is not on you. It will never happen again. And I feel like that meeting must have had such a huge motivation for the squad, because they were like, right, this actually wasn't our fault. It was a freak result, which it did feel like watching it, because I feel like we could have at least had 3 goals as well. And maybe I feel like obviously Forest were putting every single shot away. But yeah, that meeting using the data has obviously then kick-started this unbelievable run that we've been on. So I just thought that was quite interesting when he spoke about it.
No, it's quite interesting. Thanks for that, Ben. Thanks for coming to the podcast today.
Yeah, thanks for turning up.
No, all joking aside.
The one thing I wanted to deliver was that Grimsby stat and that, but Jack stole one of the Grimsby stats. So
yeah, unlucky. Listen,
he's done now.
Turn up a bit more.
Yeah, he's done.
That's it. I'm going to mute my mic now and then relax.
But no, Jack. Going back, let's focus on the first goal. So yeah, I mean, look, like you said, I agree with you. I think we controlled most parts of the game. I don't think, to summarise the game as a whole, I don't think we were by far the better side, but I think we just edged it. I think if you then go to the 90th minute and go, right, it's 2-1, I think people would look at that game and go, do you know what? Fair enough. I don't think we dominated by any stretch. I don't think we, created so many chances where you're like, yeah, that deserved 2-1. But I think we just edged it. And that first goal was a bit of a blow, wasn't it? Because I couldn't really see where it was going. And then, that great piece of play from Iwobi down the right. And then a fantastic finish from Jimenez. Yeah, great ball from Iwobi. But yeah, Jack, that first goal, talk me through it.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I turned to the guy behind me and I said, I think I know exactly what Fulham want from this game. As Iwobi was running down the wing, and then then a cross into the box. And to be fair, Jimenez done really well with that. I think Van Heck could have been a bit tighter. I was a little bit frustrated with Van Heck on that one. I actually thought, despite his goal, Van Heck probably had a poorer first half before he scored than I've seen from him all season. But he great finish, bring down a chest volley to the back of the net. I think we all sort of wrote Jimenez off after he had that awful head injury, and we sort of went like, yeah, he's kind of done, and he got released from Wolves, and he's gone to Fulham and done really, really well, and scored quite a few important goals for them. So that was a really good finish. A goal sort of out the blue. I think maybe just our concentration levels after focusing on the attack so much had dropped a little bit, but we looked really good there. We sort of took that opportunity and turned it around after that.
No, 100%. Yeah, no, it was a shame. Obviously, that I thought Estepinian. I thought he was good yesterday. I thought he was fine, but there was some times where, I actually noticed he had a lot of strapping on his left leg, I believe. He had lots of strapping around his knee. So I'm assuming he's still not fully fit. Which
I was going to say, getting beaten for pace by Iwobi is pretty insane. I feel like Iwobi's he's not the quickest. He's really good at dribbling.
No, of course, and again, I'm not singling out Estepinian at all, but there were a few moments where I was a bit frustrated by him, and but you know, he's probably still carrying an injury. He's filling in for Lamptey, also, who was suspended yesterday. So yeah, and he played the full 90 as well, which is, if you're carrying an injury, fair play. Like, to show that kind of commitment to the 98th minute. Big respect to him. So yeah, I'm not singling him out, but yeah, obviously Wobie beat him, and then like you said, Jack Van Heck as well. But it was just, yeah, I felt like it was like a lapse of concentration from the team. But we responded brilliantly, didn't we? And Ben, a Yari free kick set piece. We
actually scored a set piece.
We actually scored a set piece, and we were talking about Minter's delivery because he had a few before and they weren't amazing. So I was quite glad when Ayari stepped up for that, because then, yeah, he put a fantastic ball in, and what a header from Van Heck off the post as well. It's just so satisfying when it just dinks off the post and in. But yeah, Ben, that equaliser. Oh, go on, Jack.
Yeah, very good header. Probably one of the best headers we've seen at the Amex since Sadibo's for Athens, maybe, I reckon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was an absolute bullet. Also, shout out. Who? Hinchwood, yeah, that's actually a good shout.
Yeah.
Who actually wanted to mention, he very cleverly blocked Calvin Bassey, which left Jean-Paul Van Hecke with a really free header, and yeah, put it away. The swaz on it. Jeremy Lynch would have been proud of that header.
No, it was a fantastic header. Jackie, sorry, what were you going to say before Ben?
Oh, I was going to say, so it's good to see Van Heck get his first goal. I feel like he's had so many opportunities to score, and that was the first time he's actually put one in the back of the old onion.
In the bloody goal hole.
Yeah, in the onion bag. So,
shout out, Peter.
But the interesting question I was going to ask you, because this was a debate I was having with a few friends after the game. As you can tell,
you have friends.
Yeah, well, we have very riveting conversations here. If a ball hits the post like that and goes in, is it a shot on target?
Yeah.
Ooh.
But it's not, is it?
No, it is.
Oh, it is.
Oh.
No, but is it? See.
No, this is a great question. To be fair, it stumped me.
Is it like because it's come off the post?
No, I get what you're saying, because that technically isn't a shot on target. But the fact is, surely.
I love the fact that you got Jack in 7 Stars with his mates discussing, is that a shot on target? Where you've got other guys in 7 Stars trying to chirp women and speak to girls.
Well, it's important stuff. I tell you.
Jack, you do what makes you happy, mate. Don't listen to this guy.
I do. It does make me happy.
Yeah, good man. Don't listen to Ben.
We can't all be like Ben.
I don't think we all want to be like Ben, to be honest. Right.
No, not right now.
But no, it's a great question. And anyone in the comments or listening, whatever, let us know, because I think it is because it's a goal. But I do get what you're saying. Yeah, technically. It's not.
But what if it hit like the post, had backspin, so spun off the post and spun in? Is that a shot on target? Who knows? Doesn't matter. Anyway,
I guess similarly, if you have a shot and it's going wide, but it takes a deflection and goes in, is that a shot on target?
No, that's an own goal. That's why we have the dubious.
Oh yeah, fucking right. That's enough for me.
Yeah, Ben, go back on mute, please. Right.
Yeah, thank you.
So going into the half time at 1-1, I think it was a fair reflection of the first half. Potentially, and then it was an opportunity, I suppose, for Herzl to get the boys in, get them ready for the second half. But it was a bit of again, going back to the 120 minutes of football situation. Again, a big part of that second half, I felt like it was like that. It was like a bit lax at times. No team really showed that impetus. But those substitutions were key, weren't they, Jack? I felt like Weaver came on and played brilliantly. Obviously, Diego Gomez came on. Dingra, fantastic finish for his disallowed goal, by the way. I know he's offside in the end, but yeah, great finish from him.
It wasn't actually very far offside. I watched a replay of it. I think in the stadium, I didn't really celebrate it because I thought it was quite far offside. But actually, in reality, same as the Minter one. The Minter one was a lot less offside than I thought it would be. So it was quite interesting that they were a lot tighter. So it sort of shows the attacking pace. And I think you're spot on with the subs there, Maz, where you say, you know, a lot of our players look tired. You know, they just played 2 hours of football. I think Matoma, you know, he had a great run of form, and I think this is just how Matoma is, that, you know, he's going to have a great run of form and then maybe go off the boil a little bit for a couple of games. And I wouldn't, you know, go off the boil makes it sound like he was rubbish, but like he wasn't as impactful as he has been in other games.
It wasn't as effective, yeah.
No, and I think the same at Newcastle. He wasn't, you know, he didn't have those sort of moments of magic he's had in other games. And I think the interesting thing was, you know, I think that Adingra sub was very, very interesting because he just kind of went, right, you've got 3 minutes plus added to just go out with your pace and play so well. And you look at some of the most successful managers of the last few years, or especially last season, which was Xabi Alonso, and he was so well known last season for doing these sort of 87-minute substitutes where you basically change your entire front line.
Yeah, they had so many late winners.
Get that late goal. Yeah, and they had so many late winners, and you know, we're doing very well at sort of grabbing that late goal now from substitutes. So I think it's really having its effect. I think Hers sort of finding his rhythm, and he's doing quite well. And then, you know, he's sort of, you know, he's got this substitution is just really, really doing well for him. And, you know, I was probably slightly on the fence about Hersler a few weeks ago, and he's proven me wrong. Like, he's proven me wrong completely. So
I think Hersler's adaptability is shining through now. I feel like he's adapting so much more to games. He's going into games with different styles, different systems, and he knows when to make substitutes. He knows what players he wants to bring on to make an impact. I just think he's showing his versatility, and I really like that. And it's really important. You see a lot of managers being left behind or not adapting. You look at the Companies, you look at the Russell Martins who come up to the Premier League and don't adapt, and then
massively,
they get found out. And even some of the established Premier League managers not doing it. So I'm really excited about that.
I think. Do you know, it's interesting. We go back a few podcasts. We had Adam on, and we had quite a good conversation about how that, you know, these sort of system managers, maybe they're sort of not having their swan song as they thought they would now. You know, like Guardiola, the ultimate system manager. It's sort of going a bit bizarre, isn't it? Like the system which he's so intent on doing is not producing the results it was. And you look at who the best successes are this season in the Premier League, and I think, you know, when you're looking at managers of the year, you sort of look. You can obviously look at Slot, but you know they sort of run away with the title. But you look at the really, really good managers in Nuno Espirito Santo and Iraola. Yeah, Iraola. You know, they are adaptable managers. They play adaptable football. They do stick to a general idea like we do. I don't think, you know, we're not going like all of a sudden going from playing like passing football to literally putting it into the stratosphere, long ball every time. But we are sort of taking little bits of those and being a bit more pragmatic, being a bit more direct. And I think that's like, maybe this is the way that football goes in the future. And you look at some of the Premier League managers who've been around recently, and like you say, I think Russell Martin and Vincent Kompany are great examples of that, as well as McKenna. McKenna's just not really adapting to Premier League football, Premier League life that well. And to think that everybody sort of, you know, he was first on our list is and I don't think
great decision not joining us.
Yeah, great decision not joining us. And I think, I think it's quite obvious where that is. I think he's got other problems in the sense that he's basically got a League One squad in some places that hasn't changed since they were playing in League One. So you can understand why there's some ability issues there. But I think you've got to look at the Premier League and adapt to it and sort of do it. So really impressed with that from him.
No, 100%. It's great to see him, adapting and evolving as well. And one thing, I was trying to random thought. By the way, the referee yesterday, did he forget his yellow cards at home or something? I think he gave out one yellow card.
It was crazy, wasn't it?
Genuinely, I think I don't want to single out our own players, but Van Hek could have easily been booked once or twice at least.
That just shows how bad it was if you're actually saying it's one of our own players as well.
No, but it was both ways. Like Fulham made a few bad challenges and stuff, and he just didn't book anyone. I was like, I actually missed the Robinson booking, so I don't know.
Is that not games back though?
Not really.
Or were they actually bad tackles?
Well, no, not necessarily. No, they weren't any wow, how's he not giving that? But I think it was persistent fouls, and he just wasn't giving yellow cards. There was one point where generally everyone was how is that not a yellow card? I think it was a Fulham player made a pretty bad tackle, and like everyone was like head in hands, like how is that not a yellow card? But yeah, sorry, that was just a random thought. I remember just talking to people around me, like, how is this ref just not booking players? It was a very, but I suppose I do get what you say, Ben. Like getting the flow of play, you don't want to break up the flow of play, which is good, of course, but at the same time, you need a bit of decorum. Do you know what I mean? Bit of a parliamentary procedure.
He made a really good decision, to be fair, with the penalty, wasn't it? That was a very good decision.
No, that was fair play to him to be able to spot that in real time. Because at first, I just saw Joao Pedro dive, just doing a bit of a dive, and I was like, he's sold him a dream there. But then I watched the replays after in the what's it called?
Concourse.
Concourse, that's it. Can't think. Yeah, in the concourse, and you can see Harrison Reed clearly kicks the back of his calf, and great spot from the referee, like you said, Ben. But yeah, that penalty, Ben, obviously clear penalty. I know at the time I was a bit not too sure, but yeah, it was a clear as day, wasn't it, Ben?
A Brighton boy and Harrison Reed doing us a favour, which was good. Love that for us.
It's from Worthing, right? Is that correct?
Well, yeah, still Brightonish, isn't it? Which I did see someone tweet. It was I think when we lost to Fulham at Craven Cottage, it was Matt O'Reilly's still obviously a Fulham player because he was so arse. But now we've got our own back on that in that sense, which is good.
Yeah, that is.
I thought you were say more there, Ben. But yeah, go on, Jack.
Sorry, I've got people talking outside my room, and I'm having to mute really quickly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was like some sort of party going on in Ben's
fucking
house.
Sounds like it. Shut up!
Yeah. But yeah, no, I do agree with you about the referee. He was very not card happy, was he? Nobody was getting yellow cards. I think Fulham only walked away with 1 yellow card, 2 yellow cards at most, and Robinson got booked. And I get the thing that you don't want to. I mean, we had 2 ends of the spectrum, didn't we? At Newcastle, we had Anthony Taylor just firing out yellow cards like nobody's business, whereas you had Barrett deciding, I'm not going to book anyone, which you don't want to see bookings. You don't go into games and go
no.
But I do think there is, I think for example the Southampton game when Flynn Downs bizarrely didn't get sent off despite how many yellow card offences that was and you've got to look at this is a massive advantage for the game. So yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, but in the end it didn't really matter. I think if we'd drawn 1-1, I'd be ranting here about yellow cards but and it always makes players more cautious, is it? If you book a fullback, you're going to have someone sat back and defending, aren't you? So and on his skates and stuff. So yeah, a bit of a strange one but it is what it is, isn't it? So I wasn't too frustrated by that in the end.
It all panned out, didn't it? So
yeah, and I think you're right on you made a very good decision on the penalty, but I'm glad he gave the penalty, but I think if he doesn't give that in real time, I don't think VAR goes back and finds that and gets it.
I disagree.
No, I disagree. I think that was a clear kick in the calf.
Yeah, I mean it was a clear kick. But just me personally, I don't think it's clumsy, and I didn't think it was enough. But you gave it in real time, so you can't debate that. And I think that is VAR done perfectly. There is no check because there's no reason you can't give the penalty, and that's the interesting thing, and that's what I think it is. It's you've got to look at these penalties as is there a reason not to give it? No, so don't overturn it. And that's what I think too many times we've had decisions against us. And look, we need one of these. We've been due one of these, haven't we, for quite a while. And I do think that I think of the situations I remember we got a red card at Man United, a straight red card. It just didn't need to be overturned. It didn't need to be checked. It wasn't given as a red in real time, and it stays not being a red. And I think that was really well done. So yeah, fair play to the referee and VAR team on that one for getting everything right. Although they did take unnecessarily long amount of time checking the offside for Van Heck's goal. But,
yeah,
I always find those ones weird, like the Harrison. Oh, sorry. Thank you.
What is happening? Carnage.
Thank you very much.
No,
carnage. I know this is
carnage.
He's got.
Thank you.
He's got room service. Look at this. Ben's really got it good, hasn't he? He's got room service for the flat.
What I was saying. Oh yeah, those ones are weird because it's you say it's clumsy, Maz, but it's just unfortunate. I reckon what you meant to do, you're about to clear the ball, and then obviously Joao Pedro suddenly comes in and puts his leg in front of you.
No,
It's
of
like, I
course.
think it's more unfortunate than clumsy. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
No, and also you can argue it's good play from Joao Pedro to be in that position first of all. To
The
then,
dark arts.
yeah, well, make the movement. To be fair to him, he was trying to go for the ball, and then he's been kicked in the calf, and he's gone down, rightly so. So yeah, I was just saying in real time when I was watching it, I was a bit like, oh, he looks like he sort of just dived there. But then once you see the replays, it's quite clear he's been contacted. But no, let's talk about the coolness though. In the 97th/98th minute, to step up with that anticipation, and I was chatting to you boys before, I was saying, I was literally stood there. I know, Jack, you don't watch penalties, do you? You turn your back.
Nope.
So you were obviously nervous there.
Like a coward. Like a coward.
So I actually began to turn around, and my mate literally just grabbed me and went, Maz, do not turn around. Like, spun me back. And I was just stood there going, please, Joe. Please, Joe. Please, Joe. And it was just, and I'll never forget this. There was this moment, like this 5-second window where the whole stadium just went silent. Well, that's what it felt like anyway in my head. I don't know if I was just sort of, but it just went silent. And that anticipation, I was like, oh my God, this is huge. Like 98th minute, this is massive. And then when it hit the back of the net, by the way, unbelievable penalty. Yeah, when it hit the back of the net, that roar was unreal. I was just like, this is what moments.
The relief.
This is why you stay. This is why you stay to the end. These are the moments that are worth it.
I think that's the interesting thing because a lot of people seem to be sneaking out as the time went on, and I did think they're always going to miss these moments, aren't they? And fair play, whatever, you might have something better to do that.
No, of course. If it's like a legit reason why you have to leave.
You might have something better to do this afternoon, but I can guarantee that whatever you had to do that was better that afternoon was not better.
No,
than seeing
there is no
minute.
better feeling. Like my mate, because my mate doesn't have a season ticket, so he buys the tickets, and he spent like £60 for his ticket, and he was like, "That's worth every penny of that £60 and more." And it's like
dopamine rush.
Those moments is what we live for as fans. Like we all literally like even 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, we're like, "That was unreal." Like we're just walking about like the concourse, just going, "That was class," and that's what it's all about, isn't it?
It was the best goal notification I've ever got in my life because my colleague next to me was like, oh yeah, game's over, 98th minute. And then when I got the flash goal notification on my phone, I was at Wembley working for a different match. And obviously nothing was happening in the cyber match, but I just went, yeah, like screaming, got limbs on my own, as if the goals happened in the stadium. And I was going absolutely berserk in the press area. It's fucking insane. I was so happy.
That's what it's all about, mate. That's what football's all about.
Yeah.
I loved how you tried to disguise working for the Sidemen match there. I was in London at Wembley Stadium watching a different match.
Just
not a Sidemen charity game, was it? Yeah.
Ben was there going, speed.
I was doing charitable work, actually. I raised £4.7 million on my own, so...
Ben,
well, that's
contributed 0.1p to that, so well done, mate.
TFL fair.
Yeah.
yeah. If anything, you lost money.
Yeah. Actually, you get reimbursed for your time. Then you probably cost a charity.
Well, he does get paid. So.
Yeah, you get paid. So you were taking money away.
Yeah,
I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid for that. I'll just expense my TFL fare with work. I didn't get paid.
So sorry. So what? That wasn't on work time.
No, I just do all that shit for free. I know, peek it up.
You're such a liar. Anyway,
I swear, Maz, I'm not going to get Monday off for doing that. We don't have it good like you, buddy.
That's your
problem. when you were at sport.
That's your problem. Right. No. Anyway, what were we talking about? Right, penalty. Yeah, cold as ice. Loved it. Joao Pedro. Yeah. What a guy. What a fella. Love him to pieces. Joao Pedro. Obviously, there's some talks that people think he will leave in the summer. How big of a... Because we've talked about Joao Pedro a few times about like his impact on the team and whether if he does leave, will it be as big of a hole as we anticipate? Jack, we'll start with you. If he was to leave in the summer, and I hope he doesn't, but do you think it's as catastrophic as some fans might think?
What question? Look, I think it'd be a shame to see him leave. I think we've discussed him recently where he hasn't quite been showing his sort of best form, and maybe he's listening. Don't think he was, but maybe he's listening, and he has really improved and showed what he can bring to the team in the last few weeks. I think he was looking a bit, cast out a bit when we had Welbeck and Jorginho playing, and yeah, I think Jorginho had an off game, which was was surprising from him. I don't think he was at his best yesterday, and I think Pedro sort of stepped up to that role and sort of filled the void for him, and I thought he did really, really well. I think he took the game and all our best stuff came through Pedro, and he really looked like he wanted to score at times. And yeah, I think if he goes, we aren't going to get a cool as ice penalty taker as Joao Pedro, are we? So he's really good at penalties, and that's something that's really good. And do you know what? I think it's, and I say this I'm not saying it's been a hard season for him because he hasn't had any penalties to do. But we haven't had many penalties this year, and maybe his goal scoring stats don't look as good with that, but he's still bringing everything he was bringing and more. And I think, it's good that we're starting to get penalties now, because that was one of my worries. And I know it sounds really stupid, we're not getting penalties, but it was to do with entries into the box. It didn't look like we were getting entries into the box, and now we are getting entries into the box. So yeah, it's it was really, really good for him to get the goal and have that big moment, which he loves. He's a charismatic
the shrug
player.
celebration was cold. I was like,
Yeah,
and it's like
that picture.
He's a big moment player. He loves it. He loves the limelight. Let's football players are. They love the attention a little bit, don't they? They love the sort of the moments, and I think that was great for him to have a moment like that, which makes it so enjoyable for him. And it's great for him.
I think he's on 28 goals now for us, isn't he? Which is pretty crazy. He'll very fast become our top goal scorer in the Premier League. I imagine if he does stay an extra season, because I think Liverpool fans really, really fancy him. I always see them posting his videos on Twitter and stuff like that. But yeah, Joao, unbelievable. Historically, we've never really had any good penalty takers. I think we used to miss quite a lot. I remember I've got quite a few PTSD moments.
This is why I don't watch them. Because the reason I started not watching penalties was because we played Wolves away and Alex McAllister missed a penalty, and he was quite good at penalties at the time. And he missed a penalty, and then we got another penalty about 10 minutes later. And he stepped up to took it again, and it was a minute before half time, and I just went I can't be arsed with this, and went and got a beer because I was just I can't bother to deal with this. And we missed it, and I didn't watch it, and I was like, well, I better not watch the next one then, and carried on, and it worked quite well. So yeah, but it's interesting you say 28 Premier League goals.
I think it's all comps.
Is it all comps?
Because did he get 20 in all comps last season, right?
Yeah, he did. He did. So if he's got 8 goals this season, but yeah, he's fast approaching Pascal's record. I mean, well, Pascal and Danny's record, because they're both level on it now, aren't they? So joint.
Imagine that, Danny Welbeck being our all-time Premier League goal scorer soon to be. That is crazy,
isn't it? It's crazy.
All those years ago when we signed him. Eating your words, baby.
I don't have to eat my words, to be fair. No, but we've said it over time. Obviously, when we first signed him, I was questioning the signing, but no, in the last couple of years, he's been fantastic. I can't say anything less than that, really.
Yeah.
Right, shall we move on? And then it was fantastic full-time scenes, of course. The boys, the Belabors, the Rooters. Actually, that's what I want to talk about. The celebration was great. I think that shows.
Yeah.
We bang on about the togetherness. We talk about how we're building a culture. Actually, just quickly on culture, the darts night. A few of the players were there. Veltman, Dunkey, specifically. But it was quite interesting. The reason why I bring this up is obviously Dunkey had his sign, didn't he? If anyone hasn't seen it, Dunkey had a sign which said Hurzeler, in, out, and lots of crosses. So basically, having a dig at all the in and outers, all the people that were calling for his head.
And also the lads that were also at the darts that had for Hurzeler out on their sign.
Oh, yeah. There was,
did they?
There was, of course, Ali Pally, the people who had Hurzeler out. And I did have a good chat with the culprit. I did, because I do.
I recognise the fella.
I recognise the face. He's friends with one of my friends. And I had a chat about it. And he said, well, it's just, you had a few beers at the darts and held up a stupid sign. And I don't know. I think some of the people got very angry with him. I think it's just chill out a bit.
No, and that's the thing. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, right? So it's not like,
some of them are just crap.
Some of them are just wrong. No, we actually got asked. We're like, have you guys on our latest post was like, were you Hurzer out? I was like, we've once on this podcast been Hurzer out, which is I'm quite proud to say we have not been.
Yeah. I was.
You were on the fence,
wasn't I?
Yeah, you were on the fence at one point. But I've always been staunch Hertzler. So hashtag
exactly.
But on the celebration. So sorry, the reason why I mentioned the darts is because a lot of people were like, oh, it was a bit tetchy from Dunk, like, you know, he's the club captain, should he be doing that? But Herzler actually was fine with it. He got asked about it in the press and he was like, I like it, like it's good. It's part of it's part of the culture, you know, it's what we're trying to build here. He wants people to go to these events. He wants them to have fun. So I love that from Herzl. It shows like he trusts his players, he's happy with his players.
He was at the boxing as well.
He was at the boxing as well. He was right in front of us at the ringside.
No way.
So that was cool. Yeah, he was with his other half.
Thing is, though, I don't know why people would get upset with Dunkey doing that, because it's showing support for Herzler, if anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I was a bit bemused by why people were sort of digging out Dunkey.
Maybe because he's taking the mick out of Brighton fans that wanted him out.
They did say it.
But
again, but I mean,
he's the captain. He's supporting the manager. What more do you want?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. So
also, just have a laugh.
Have
a laugh.
Honestly, lighten up, boys and girls. And then when that goal went in, you saw the whole bench. You saw Rutter, you saw Matoma, you saw all the young boys cash in. Joe Knight, Slater, all the whole from the pros, the most experienced pros, all the way down to the guys who haven't even made an appearance yet. It just shows that togetherness. And I love that picture of all of them together, all around. Joao Pedro, him doing the little shrug pose. And it's nice, isn't it, to see that, Ben, as that togetherness and what culture Herzl and the backroom staff are creating at Brighton.
Yeah, I mean, I do absolutely love it. And having such a young squad, they're just very, very silly. They're just very fun. I absolutely love watching all the behind the scenes videos that they put on YouTube and all the clips. Just absolutely batshit crazy, and like Rutter as well. It's just, they always do these weird dances, it's just so funny. And when you have players and a team camaraderie like that, then success always comes on the pitch as well. It's been great, and shout out to Herzl and his team for implementing that in the squad, because we signed quite a lot of new players at the beginning of the season. To see them how close they all are already is a testament to Herzl and his team for sure. And also like the mature heads within the squad as well that have, got the new guys feeling like they're at home already. Sorry, my words are fucked.
It's been a long road to sort of be in this situation. We've sort of had the whole season to sort of gel and get together. And I think, and I look back at my own thoughts when I was on the fence, probably leaning towards more after the Forest game. And I think, there was always part of me that was like, it's a young manager, you've got to give him time. And I think there's been a long sort of road to sort of building up this level of playing well, knowing that we've got the ability to play well like we do. And I just think we had to give it time, didn't we? And there were some dodgy results along the way. I think December has always been traditionally quite shit for us. Like, you can look back over the years and the times that we have not played well in December are insane. So, and I think it's, it's interesting to see sort of he's building this squad. He's building something like he had at St. Pauli, which was everybody was very together. And, we all take the mick a bit when he sort of says, we need to be together. We need to, we need unity. But he's spot on, and we sort of need the consistency. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's great. I think it's really sort of coming. And do you know what? I think this was an interesting conversation that I had with someone, in that when we used to win under Potter and De Zerbi at home, it very much felt like an event. Like, it was a once in a while sort of opportunity, even against lower teams. Like, it sort of felt like we had won at home. Oh my God, this is like the best day ever. Let's go out and get absolutely mortaled. Whereas now with Herzl, I think it's like winning at home has become a lot more standard. Like,
and then going out and getting absolutely mortal as well. Still,
exactly.
Whatever happens, we're getting mortal.
But it feels like
on the piss.
I think he talked about. I think it was after we played Brentford. He talked about like, I want this to be like standard. I don't want us to be in a situation where on a Saturday when we play at home, I don't want anything like all the top teams. They have to win every home game, and that's what I want. And I think he's come across really well like that, and he wants nothing less than a win, and I think that's sort of showing its dividends now, isn't it? Really.
No, 100%. And what was going to say? Let's talk about
I just want to quickly.
substitutions. We did briefly.
I was going to say
Oh,
Simon Adingra, yeah, but I mean, I know he got disallowed,
Yeah.
but that touch and goal was unbelievable, and we haven't really seen
No.
too much of him. And I remember watching the behind-the-scenes video of Hursley's team talk after beating Newcastle when Adingra looked pretty, like, I don't know, just pretty down because he didn't come on the pitch, did he? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had his hood up. I might be making it up, but he had his coat on, and like, obviously there are great vibes, and Hursley was cracking jokes, but it looked like he was pretty down. So to see him come on and obviously have a good impact, even though his goal was disallowed, yeah, it was good to see that he's still kicking.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think talking about the substitutions as a whole, obviously Gomez came on, March, Welbeck, Adingra and Weaver. And yeah, you're right, Ben. I think with Adingra, it's been a shame actually because of how good Matoma's been. He hasn't had a look in it. And that's just, unfortunately, it is part of the game, right? When a player's going through a hot run of form, you're not going to displace him. You're not going to probably get many minutes because of that. So yeah, he's just been very unlucky that he's been replaced. But he's 23 years of age. He's still developing, I think. I think he's still learning the game. Obviously, he had a fantastic AFCON and one player of the tournament there. But there's still, I think he's still got a lot of development, still got a lot of time. And the competition's so high as well. But it was, yeah, like you said, Ben, it was great to see him come on, have a great touch, great finish. And that must hopefully help with his confidence as well.
But let's also not forget that in January we tried sending him to Sunderland to get some other youngster from Sunderland. Remember, imagine being Adingra. You've gone from AFCON winning player of the tournament, and having a really really good time at Brighton. Well, here and there in the Premier League. So then being like, right, we actually want to send you to the Championship if that's all right, mate. Like, you'd be fuming, wouldn't you? Like you think, like, what do this club think of me? Like you're a Premier League winger, and they want to send you to the Championship to get some other winger, even though we've got about 18 other wingers already. That must have really pissed him off.
No, 100%.
I don't think that was ever that serious, though, was it? I think the idea that I think Adingra. I think the idea was mooted, and then they turned down the Adingra, or Adingra turned the whole move down. He wasn't interested. So
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's great to see like little contributions from those sort of squad members because they're all important. And I think what won us the game ultimately is that we have quite a deep squad, and maybe Fulham don't have that as much. And a lot of their players are, they've got such an old squad. Fulham, such an old squad. Like most of those players are like 33 or something. Like there's a lot of age in that squad. So yeah, interesting one there. But old people who are 33 years old. How old is that man? Yeah,
Danny Welbeck's 36 now. But no, I get what you're saying. I don't know who knows. Anyway, you're right.
Welbeck slander.
It's good to it's good for our substitutes, definitely. I thought Weaver was really good when he came on as well. He made a couple of tackles in the middle of the park, which was really key when it was 1-1. This is before we scored the goal, because that was like the last thing we did. But
wasn't he at 7 stars last night?
Who, Weaver?
Yeah, Jack Sorrow.
Yeah, Weaver was it. Well, I did. He was on the Coke though. To be fair, not Coca-Cola. He was on the Coca-Colas. Like he wasn't on a beer. He wasn't on the beers.
He wasn't boozing.
Cool.
Yeah. Look, let's have an honest conversation about this. By the way, so what if he did have beers? Like he's a human being.
I'm so glad you said beers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of that whole like, oh, I saw him at an event the other day. I saw him having fun.
Yeah.
It's like, what, these people...
Yeah, people were annoyed at Lewis Dunk having a beer at the darts.
Yeah. Bro, we're human beings. Like, relax. Like, people can have fun and play football. Like, their whole life doesn't revolve around football. Fair enough. If you're a really dedicated professional and you don't drink, I respect it. I've got a lot of time for it. I don't drink. I get it. It's fine. However, if you want to have a drink, have a drink. No one tell anyone else what to do. Let people live their lives. Let people have fun. And stop being killjoys.
Did you see Ola Aina's story as well? It went viral because after beating City, he was like on his story. He was like, right, on his last story, he was like, right, I'm getting drunk, and then like stopped the Snapchat, and then just obviously must have got absolutely wasted.
Great,
yeah,
have a good time. You've won.
Celebrate.
You're playing really well. Celebrate. Have a good night, and then get back to training on Monday. Simple as that. Who cares? But
I mean, on the other end of the spectrum. Jonas Schumann, when I met him in the pub, he was having a couple of drinks and he was having a good time. What a lovely man Jonas Schumann is as well. When I met him, the assistant
Love
manager. Everybody seems
Yeah,
the one who looks like
I'll be
me.
so real. I'll be so real.
Yeah.
I didn't have a clue you were talking about there. For a second, too, you said assistant manager.
The bloke who looks like me and has JS on his thing that looks like people are, and
By the way,
I look like I'm Andy Wing. I just like to himself.
Yeah,
Andy
Andy
Wing,
Wing's a
Barrow
great shout.
manager. Yeah.
Kerry Mayo. But no, what's good? I just quickly wanted to talk about the set piece coach. Mate, he's so funny. He looks like a Viking and he wears 3/4 lengths. It's just so funny to see him on the sidelines whenever we have a corner or free kick with his quarter lengths and his Viking hair. I just thought I'd bring that up. There's no other reason.
It's interesting, isn't it? Set piece coaches, because there's been a lot of like emphasis on them, hasn't there? In
I'm not a fan.
With Arsenal.
Game's gone, mate. Game's
Right,
gone.
well, I mean, I'm not a fan. I just don't really. But it's something you notice, isn't it, when they sort of walk up, stand there, watch the set piece, disappear again. You don't really see them when we concede from them, do you? And it's interesting, isn't it?
They go back to
the Arsenal one.
My only job.
The Arsenal one's got a mural, hasn't he? So mural in that weird tunnel by the Emirates. So maybe it's about time that we gave our own set piece. We should contact Dogma and get a mural on a somewhere in Brighton.
If we can, the slick back hair, the 3/4 lengths, that'd be cool.
He looks cool, man. He looks cool.
If we can actually start scoring some set pieces, I reckon he should get it.
Well, we've got one ticked off.
One ticked off, Ben. So don't talk about him like that, all right? He's got a very important job and he's doing a great job at it. Right? Leave him alone. But no, anything else, boys? Any other business before we stop the pod?
Not really. No, just looking forward to City now, which is weird that I'm actually looking forward. I think it's really good that we got this win today because it really does mean that City is almost a free hit for us. You know, the good City could turn up and we lose, and I wouldn't be bothered. It doesn't. You know, we're only 1 point off them, but if City decide to actually kick into gear, it'd be really, they could absolutely destroy us. But at the same time, there's every opportunity we can go there next week and get something out of the game. So it'd be
with the way they're playing,
really,
there's no reason why we can't, and the way we're playing. There's no reason why we can't get a result there. It's not like we're going in there.
No.
Do you know, back in the day, a couple of years ago, you'd go into that game, doom and gloom. It's a guaranteed 3 points for City. You go there, just have a good time, enjoy the away day.
I remember one game at City, I remember I made it a challenge to see how much alcohol I could drink. And that was like, because I knew we were going to lose. And we had to go via Sheffield. All I remember was people were telling me that I was giving out like bottles of, a little water bottle outside the ground and said, "Oh, do you want some?" "Oh, is that water?" And no, it's just straight Sambuca. And it was, that was a long day. And now we go into the game thinking, right, we can win this. This could be a really good game for us. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, big time. Big time.
No, 100%. I think it'll be great. And also, I think I want to stress the importance of as well. It's the last game for the international break. So going into that international break on a high would be amazing. And then we got Forest in the FA Cup straight after, which actually, do you know what? Quickly on this, actually, I'll start with you, Ben. How do you feel about that? Obviously, the 2-week break going into the FA Cup quarter-final, it could be a negative because you're carrying on this sort of confidence, and then you have a 2-week break, and it's like, oh, do you lose that confidence? Do you lose that momentum?
Yeah, I mean, you got this potentially that Forest and us are going to be going into it confident. I'm more concerned about, I think someone tweeted about saying our South American players are going to be, Jack, you'll probably know because you're the facts man.
Playing on the Wednesday, yeah.
Playing on the Wednesday, flying back and then playing Saturday. I mean, that's annoying because obviously Joao Pedro is coming into good form and it'll be a shame to miss him.
For Joao Pedro to get in the Brazil squad, that's not one way you can strategically get an injury, is it? Like that's a
one big moment
definitely want to play.
Yeah,
it's a huge moment for him to get in that Brazil squad, and Brazil, one of the best teams in world football and history. So it's really good to sort of see that he sort of gets that opportunity, and that's one that he definitely won't want to turn down, is it? So we can it's going to be interesting how we manage that. I think Forest have a lot of South Americans, don't they? They have, is it Murillo?
Yeah, Murillo, and Danilo, I think. Is it Danilo?
Danilo, yeah.
Danilo.
Or was that the other Danilo? Because I don't know, yeah.
No, they do have a centre mid, but I don't know if he starts them anymore.
So, but everybody's going to be, and Jack Hinchwood's obviously going to be tired from playing for England. When he gets in the England squad. It'd be interesting how we manage that, but I'm pretty confident we can get on fine with that.
And Danny Welbeck, do you reckon Danny?
Oh, Danny Welbeck, yeah.
Do you reckon Danny might even get a little goal? And Webster.
Webster.
Tarek
Good
Lamptey.
play. Let's all calm down a little bit. Now.
It went a bit far.
Joe Knight, Jacob Slater, get him in the squad. I think he's Irish.
Get them all in.
Jacob Slater. Yeah,
He's Irish.
Carl Rushworth.
He is.
So it'd be great opportunity for some of them to show their sort of ability if they can get in the squad. Also, just on a very separate note, how weird was it how early Brazil announced their squad? Like they announced it like 2 weeks before the international break.
Yeah.
It's a bit ridiculous to me.
Yeah,
But
I saw
anyway.
Neymar was in it as well. So Joao Pedro and Neymar
Yeah.
link up. God.
Yeah, maybe you can have a
God.
word and Neymar could come over here, get
Yeah,
right up the Premier
Do
League.
you
one
fancy
last
Brighton? Well, we could do with another winger, to be fair. So yeah,
Hey.
time.
be a great signing for us with Neymar. But no, boys, listen, absolute pleasure sharing 55 minutes with both of you. It's always a pleasure, never a chore. Ben's about to fall asleep,
Fucking hell.
and his room service has probably stopped at this point. Have they stopped coming? But no, boys, thank you, everyone, boys and girls, everyone listening around the world. We are global. That's what we do.
Go on, man.
But no, everyone listening around the world, we really appreciate all your support. Please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Does mean a lot to us. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, do leave us a review, a nice review, a 5-star review, because we're 5-star players.
And I'm sorry for my
final-
performance today.
Sorry. Ben, thanks for coming back. It's always great to have you. Your limited input is always great. And
Thank you.
we all love you.
Jack's asleep. Oh, he's there.
No, Jack is just texting someone. But anyway, peace.
I am.
Love.
Jack's trying to get room service as
How
well.
did you tell? Yeah.
Right, peace, love, tranquility, and all that good jazz.
He's messaging his mate at Istanbul BBQ.
Yeah, we'll see you for the Man
Doing it-
City
doing it blind
preview. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Peace.